Hello, welcome back to another Models by Me video. This time we're continuing with the Luftwaffe theme, evidently, by looking at Airfix 1/72nd scale Dornier Do17 E or F variant, one of the early ones. So we'll do this in the usual manner. We'll have a look at the outside of the box, then the contents, then the instructions, and then the sprues. So, brief history on the plane, or the kit actually. Can't give you too much because I'm using scale mates as a guide of when most of these kits came out. And the earliest one I can find for this is 1973, which seems about right. Definitely a 70s era kit again. But every time I try and look at how old this kit is, or what's the oldest variant of this kit, it keeps saying the 2008 Reeboks. Because it's getting confused between this one and the Z version that Airfix have released recently. But the actual plane itself, first flew in 1934, finally being introduced in 1937, before being retired from the Finnish Air Force this time. Not the Spanish one, though the Spanish did use it. Finnish was the last ones to use it in 1952. I can imagine the Luftwaffe version until it was either 1945 or earlier when they simply ran out of planes again. There's quite a good history on the Dornier 17, which there's a good video out there that deals with trying to collate as much information as possible regarding the Dornier 17, because there's a lot of contradictories, a lot of variations. Basically, it's said the Dornier Z version. So somehow they got through every letter of the alphabet to the point where they got to Z, and then they created the 215, which is the export version, and the 217. And there's a 215. Which, another note now, one of the things they did was swap the cockpit styles over. So, yeah, spoilers, this one's going to come in. So, yeah, it deals with all the history of the Dornier, or Dornier 17. It's a really good video, it's really worth watching. So, let's continue this unboxing video by starting with, as per usual, the outside of the box. Outside of the box, so we got again, nice one of these. I think it's another one of the Roy artworks of Dornier 17 in combat against the Polish Air Force, which is quite nice to see. You don't get to see the Polish one too much. Instantly date the kit. Date the kit. It costs £6. I wish they were that expensive nowadays. So we got the product code, 1/72nd scale, and Airfix with the yellow writing. So down the side here we have again Airfix with yellow. Recommended for A+, glue and paint not included. Recommended A+, stuff, barcode in case you want to scan it. Skill level 2, again, we'll compare that against my level, which what I think this would be. But we just got the plane on the side here this time, not the full artwork. Why does Airfix keep doing that? That's the same again. Right. A little bit on the Dornier, effectively known as a flying pencil. So, yeah, okie dokie. They got the size of the plane, 225 by 250. No, it's 250 long, not 250 high. 77 pieces though. paints are not included. It also tell you which ones you needed, but somebody decided to put tape straight over that to the point where it'll rip everything off. This is 2 flying hours if you're collecting those. For Club Airfix, still a thing. Even at this point, this is a Hornby product. When did Hornby take over Airfix? Interesting. And the underside of the box is... I don't think that's related to the Airfix box itself. But the underside is a cardboard box. So, okie dokie. Let's refer to the title card now. Yep, let's have a look at the contents. So we have one bag with all 77 pieces in there, includes pilots. So it'll be interesting to see them later. One big wing in the middle there. We have the instructions. So yeah, we've got the instructions all there. There's one thing missing. Hold on. There you go. Okay, having a good search round. But there are no not instructions, I'm holding the instructions in my hand. There is no decals for this. That's annoying. That's extremely annoying. Second-hand kit at the end of the day. I thought it did have the decals with it. I could be wrong. Okie dokie. Can't do that bit then. So let's bounce on to the next bit. The bit that I said wasn't in here, which blatantly it is. The instructions. Brief history of the plane, so pause on the language that you can read. Okie dokie, let's open them up. So that's the usual thing about the instructions. All the usual guides, cut, drill, weight, assembly stage, clear plastic, ×2. Right, so start off. Stage 1, you don't even start. Well, it's to do with the cockpit section at least, but you start with the rear gunner. Okie dokie. So yeah, the next step is, okay, that's all the instructions there. So it's quite nice actually. So I'll probably start with, put the control column onto the foot pedals. That's supposed to be the foot pedals. And glue them that side. Glue the seat on. Glue the side windows in. Yes, you've got side windows here. Bottom window goes in with machine gun. Tail wheel has to go in together. Glue the two sides together and then glue it into one side of the fuselage. Glue the seat into that side. Radio into that side. Instrument panel and whatever this bit is, which I'm guessing it's just a cover to, well, thing to cover up all the wires, and glue all the crew members in. Next step, blur the instructions so I can't see them. There we go. So yeah, all the glass bits go on now. So top turret, top machine gun even. This machine gun, front nose part, underside window, and the canopy. I'm skipping a little bit because if you're making the E variant, you need to put the E was actually, okay, so the F was a bomber variant, the E, if I got this right way around, was the photography version. So that's actually a camera there, if I got this the right way around. But also, if you have got the E variant, it's got a forward-firing machine gun, which the F doesn't. I could be wrong. The F could be the normal variant, and E has the bombs on it. I swear one of these was the bomb and the other. Anyway, so somebody will point out my mistake. Next, after you're done with the cockpit section, glue the wings on, including the landing light. That's it. That's it for stage 4. Stage 5, the carriage. So, if you want spinny propeller goes through front of the cowling, and then you glue the little nub onto the end. If you don't care about spinny propeller, glue that to that and then go have fun. Right, landing gear. So glue the 2 wheels together. If you want spinning wheels, do not glue the wheels onto the landing strut. I am not fussed by that. So you got a mud guard to put on there. Okay, let's back up a little bit. So if you want landing gear up, glue left to right or right to left, and then put this, which is the landing gear, up onto the outside of the engine nacelle, and then I think that's an air intake there as well. If you're doing landing gear down, glue the 2 sides of the wheels together. Glue, while that's drying, glue the mud guard onto the main strut, and then clip / glue, you can bend this out a little bit, clip the wheels into the main landing strut, and then the support arm onto the back here, while at the same time gluing it into the side of one side of the nacelle, before then gluing it into the other side of the nacelle. One of the things I'm very curious about, because I know when I said about on the Halifax video regarding the landing gear, people said you could fold the landing gear up and down. This bit, it says glue together. This bit says do not glue into the side of the nacelle. You can't glue this bit and then say not glue that bit, because that will hold the 2 together, and this at the bottom, and this will hold it at the top. So I'm guessing this bit at the bottom is not supposed to be glued in, so you can have that kind of like fold that out a little bit, maybe that up, and then this goes in on itself, possibly. Or just don't glue this on, and then you can fold this one up and down willy-nilly. I'm going to leave this more of a static model, so all this lot is going to be glued together. Undercarriage covers will also be glued on afterwards, depending on what you end up doing. But I would definitely have landing gear down, so I'm going to have some spare covers. Next, there's the nacelle for the... So that one is literally that one we just did, and then you've got to do it all again for this side. If I'm not mistaken, the nacelles are... Okay. They might be the same anyway, they're probably not, but if they are the same, just put ×2 on them. Just do ×2 up here. So much simpler, Airfix. So after you've done your second engine, glue all the aerials on. And the tail surface. That's interesting that the underside of the horizontal stabilizer is a separate piece, but the flaps here are not a separate piece. 2 sides are welded together, which then glue onto the outside of the stabilizer. Yeah, so basically it's just saying ignore the parts up here or down here which you don't want if you haven't landing gear retracted. Next, all the support arms for the control surfaces at the back. And I think that is it. Yep, that is it. So close, Airfix. So close. Right. That's the instructions part. Well, how to build the plane. How to paint it. If I had the decals for these two. So, unfortunately, Airfix seemed to have done the ICM thing. Or ICM did the Airfix thing. They show you one half of the plane with the camouflage, but not the other side. Great. Also, one of the funny things I noticed about these two, the camouflage is the same, it's just the patterns are the wrong way around. So, what we got here? We got brown, green, and light grey. And light blue. Pretty much all the RAF colours except for light blue. RAF and light blue being Luftwaffe. But all the pattern is identical. You can see that. It's quite obvious that's the same at the top. Down the sides, it's pretty much the same as well. So why can't we just have this one points this way and this one points that way, and you can just about figure out which. Just put a note saying, if you do it, just like invert the brown and green colours for depending on which version you're doing. This one also has a red band across the tail. I think I know what that is for. Being it is, both of these are 1937s. I'm pretty certain I know what that red band is there for. Just to keep things safe with YouTube for now. I will leave it as that. But the rest of the paint guide, not too bad. Bar the mission of half a plane. So, okie dokie. As I don't have the decals, I can't do those versions. But, for you guys that might have them, quite clear and nicely instructed. So, let's have a look at the sprues. Is this going to be like a proper golden oldie where the detail is non-existent? Or is it going to be extremely surprising? Stay tuned after this title card. Sprue time! So let's start with the wings. Ironically, as I got this out, I did try and put these together. And they actually do fit together. Bar the support arm in the way, but they fit together. That's amazing. So we've got gaps for the nacelles to go into. So that's not too bad. The detail, though, is impressive. This is, remember, the oldest I can find is 73. We have, on the wings, they're completely out of focus. Focus. There we go. We have recessed panel lines. And the control arms. Well, the control arms to hold on to the flap and aileron. Corrugate, almost like, is that supposed to be fabric? I think that might be fabric. Which is almost nice and wavy. Which is quite how I like these. I don't think it's corrugated, not supposed to be corrugated metal. They might have used fabric to try and save some weight here. But, and very fine, very thin rivets and rivet lines. And then we're just on the first sprue, and the detail here is so nice. Right, top wing. Very thin rivet lines again. Recessed panel lines. This is nice. Oh, 1971. It's a 1971 kit. And it has detail which I would expect to see on kits much later. Oh, I can't wait to look at the rest of this plane. Okay, I kind of know, but let's have a look at the rest of this plane. Start with the outside. So the engine, so we've got little like vents on the side here. Those are quite nice. The exhaust, which just holes. It literally just holes. So probably could put something on the inside to cover that up. Not a minus point. Ooh. The fuselage. I know there's another minus point coming up in a minute. But again, we've got nice thin rivet lines. We've got recessed panel lines. Nicely detailed radio. Seats are very plain. Foot pedals are very plain again. Tail wheel. It's there. Propellers are pretty basic. Red flaps not too bad. Find the engines there. Almost looks like the HG51 that we just looked at as well. Well, a couple of weeks ago at least. Instrument panel. You've got the dials. You can't see anything on those dials, but there's definitely dials there. And let's have a look at the interior. Landing gear interior, nothing there. Cockpit interior, very tiny bit just there. Okay, not too bad. Let's put this back and pull up this sprue. Ooh, okay. Wheels. That tread, unless it's supposed to be a brand new tyre, I would say that tread is too deep. I've seen quite a few Luftwaffe tyres, and I would say that tread's a bit too deep on that. We'll come back to the vertical stabilisers in a minute. Horizontal, not too bad again, very, very nice. The inside here, yep, nice. There they are. And it's a 71 kit. Landing gear. Got the rubber support cores there. The air intakes are, you can see there's supposed to be a mesh there. The machine guns, now machine guns are, you can tell what they are, but they are very, very basic. Very basic. Pilots. Again, got kicked up the backside out the press, out the mould. But the detail on them, that's quite nice detail again. They are definitely not jade babies. Definitely not. Fuselage half. It was pretty much the same as the other one, with a little bit more detail on the interior there. Now, a little bit of a spoiler, because to say I've seen this kit before. Let me put those two sides together. Line them up, it might help. No. Okay, there we go. Anybody spot a problem there? You got your bomb bay here. You have half a Bombay here, but nothing here. Bit of a strange omission. You can clearly see that lines up with that, so that's clear, that's the Bombay. I know that's the Bombay. And I know the later Dorniers did have a second Bombay they put here to basically increase the load. They've got one door here, but he seems to have given up and not bothered to put it on this side. Or completely forgot until they already started making the kits and somebody pointed out their glaring omission. That is a very odd omission to actually make. But other than that, this is a very, very nice kit. You can see how much glass is in it. Or how much glass is on it. Let's see if we're going to see anything on the interior. Right, so we've got the glass that's completely out of focus. Oh dear. That's not looking promising. Right, where did the nope, it was a sprue. Where did that radio go? There he is. Give it a fair chance, that is quite clear. Let's have a look through the canopy. Very warped, very... oh dear. The front nose, forget it. Side window. It's one of those magic mirrors you find at a circus. Okay, if that's zoomed out, if I just flip this over. Nope, same both ways, it just swings on both occasions. Okay. So, half the clear plastic you're going to see through. A bit warped. The other half, yeah, good luck. So, overall, quite nice. Let me pack this up, figure out the score and the skill level, and final review. So, final thoughts on this kit. It's a 71 kit, and it is far more detailed than what I would expect. I know I made the Airfix Heinkel and that base, the old one, and yeah, what detail on that one? I think that's a 60s kit, and it's a few years after the 60s. Well, two of them at least. But there's just so much detail in this, on this. To be honest, I wouldn't expect an interior. I wouldn't expect radio. I wouldn't expect like some of the parts moulded into the size of the fuselage. And yet, it's there. It has that. It's got recessed panel lines, back when you would normally expect to see raised panel lines. The raised rivets. All extremely, extremely nice. And it looks like, I would say this is going to be a fairly pleasant kit to build. Provide a little bit of challenge to those beginning or just starting out into the hobby. But if you're experienced enough, nothing to overly look out for. Just unfortunately the clear plastic ain't going to let you see that nice lovely interior, that it's there. So, skill level wise, I'm with Airfix on this one. I'll say this is a 3, intermediate. Mostly because I would say, because there's a fair bit of interior, you've got to make sure to put it all in first. The landing gear looks like it may cause a little bit of problem, especially with these instructions, may cause a bit of confusion. And then just getting the two vertical stabilizers actually lined up properly and not like bent over and going all over the place. So yeah, I would definitely say a 3. You could probably give this to somebody that's just starting out into the hobby, and just give them a little bit of help and guide to get through like the cockpit section and the landing gear. The rest of it seems fairly straightforward, pretty standard for a nice old kit. Detail time, score, interior wise. I would have to go with part of me wants to say interior detail a 4. But slight bit, but it doesn't. There's detail there to impress you on the interior, but it also is lacking still a fair bit of detail. And there's still, I think you could put a lot more into this. But it feels a lot more better than a 3, so I'm going to go with about a 3.5 for the interior detail. It's there, it's quite nice, but don't think it's quite that 4, so I would say about 3.5 on that one. Exterior detail, I will go with 4. It's very, very nice on the exterior detail. Slight couple of problems, like say the canopy, the clear plastic, you can't actually see through most of it, and the very odd half Bombay door. Very odd inclusion, that one. But the rest of it seems quite nice. So yeah, I would give that a 4 with the interior detail 3.5. So total 7.5 out of 10. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, hit that like button, comment below. Have you made one of these before? Is it actually really easy to assemble? Or is there any traps to watch out for? Do you want me to continue with the score system, or just drop it? You're not interested in it? Let me know. And subscribe for the next video. You can probably guess which one it is. See you then. Thanks. Bye.